Preview, Gears of War, E-Day, multiplayer 8 hours with Versus and Horde, Introduction and Horde Siege mode. We had the opportunity to participate in the closed beta for Gears of War, E-Day multiplayer, and spent around 8 hours across multiple sessions playing both the Versus and Horde modes. In this preview, we'll take a closer look at what the first multiplayer maps, new weapons, and gameplay changes have to offer. As always, you can find out everything you need to know right here in our preview. Kelowna, the front line of the Locust War. The Horde mode has been a major part of the Gears of War franchise for many years, and in E-Day, it has received one of its biggest expansions yet. The classic cooperative survival experience has been transformed into a 12-player PvE mode, where 3 different squads work together to defend the city of Kelowna. Each team follows its own objectives while moving through large, atmospheric urban environments and fighting against endless waves of Locust enemies. The biggest change is the freedom players now have during missions. You can choose to focus entirely on the main objectives and push forward as quickly as possible, or you can explore side streets and different areas of the map to complete additional tasks and earn extra rewards for yourself and your squad. This new version of Horde, called Horde Siege, expands the cooperative survival formula with large-scale battles, squad-based coordination, and constantly increasing threats. The mode forces teams to adapt to changing situations, defend important positions, and work together if they want to survive. During missions, players collect energy that can be spent at supply stations to purchase equipment, upgrades, and weapons. The energy itself is collected collectively by the squad, but every individual player decides how they want to spend their own resources. Boot camp, learning the new mechanics. Before entering the 2 available multiplayer modes, the game recommended completing the boot camp tutorial. After going through the basics and introducing some of the new mechanics, players were sent directly into battle. Interestingly, there also appeared to be a short teaser for the campaign hidden inside the tutorial. The reason for this assumption is that shortly after this sequence, the tutorial ended rather abruptly. It is very likely that the final version of the game will expand this section further and integrate it more naturally into the overall story experience. Horde returns with 3 different mission types. In the beta, Horde was divided into 3 different mission categories. Blitz features short missions with 1 or 2 objectives. These encounters are designed to be faster and more focused, giving players quick challenges without requiring a full-length mission. Siege offers medium-length missions with a greater variety of objectives. Players need to coordinate their actions more carefully, manage resources, and decide when it is worth leaving their current position to complete additional tasks. Horde. The classic Horde experience focuses on longer missions where players must survive multiple enemy waves while defending a specific location. In addition to secondary objectives, large-scale map events can occur during missions. These include events such as COG supply drops or dangerous boss invasions. During these invasions, powerful Locust bosses appear somewhere on the map. Taking them down requires cooperation between multiple squads and can completely change the flow of the current mission. During the beta, we were only able to encounter Brumacs, but in the final version, there will most likely be more variety when it comes to enemy types and boss encounters. Ignoring these events is also not without consequences. If you decide not to complete these additional objectives, gameplay modifiers will remain active for the rest of the mission, limiting your team's abilities and making survival more difficult. So besides earning additional rewards, it is definitely worth keeping an eye on the map and taking care of these activities whenever possible. After completing these optional objectives, players receive squad perks, which increase their strength during the current mission. You can also earn weapon parts that allow you to unlock new weapon modifications. However, there is one important limitation. You only keep your rewards if you successfully complete the mission and safely evacuate. First impressions of Horde Siege. During the beta, the other squads were mostly filled with AI-controlled bots. However, in the final game, playing with 12 real players and proper coordination could turn Horde Siege into one of the best multiplayer experiences the series has ever offered. The beta content was definitely limited, but it managed to create a strong desire to see more. The progression system was also restricted during the test. Every class could only be upgraded up to level 10. For the full release, each class will feature 30 progression levels.
This will do some damage. Scratch one contact! Stand down! Oh yeah?
Briggs back in action. Stellar work clearing out those grubs.
Moving to cover!
Lots of seismic activity in your area. Close any E-holes you find.
Roger.
This is KR-80. I'm on approach. Clear the extraction point. Let's do this. Move your ass! I'm burning fuel here. Get your asses inside.
Oh yeah!
I need it back.
All right. No fidgeting back there. Let's get you ground pounders home. You made it back in one piece.
Versus
Hell of a
mode,
performance
a
out
more
there.
classic experience. Compared to Horde Siege, the versus mode currently stays much closer to the traditional Gears of War formula. The beta featured 2 playable maps, Market and Outpost, together with the classic game modes, Team Deathmatch and Conquest. The available content was relatively small and matches usually played out quite quickly. It only took a few rounds to figure out the strongest positions on each map and understand where the most important battles would take place. Thanks to the TACCOM system, players can immediately see the locations of the weapons placed around the map before the match even begins. This makes it easier to prepare a strategy and decide which areas are worth controlling from the start. The newly introduced stun grenades and acid-based weapons, known as the Incinerator, are interesting additions to the arsenal. However, they do not completely change the overall gameplay flow. During our time with the beta, we did not necessarily encounter many highly competitive players. But apart from the regular use of acid weapons, we did not notice many completely new approaches or strategies developing within the matches. The foundation of Gears of War's multiplayer combat remains very familiar. For longtime fans, that means the core experience is still there. Controlling power weapons, managing positioning, and winning fights through movement and timing. A first musical highlight in the beta. The beta version already included a small musical highlight. Even though we obviously cannot talk about the full soundtrack yet, it was already clear that the game continues the series' tradition of creating memorable and atmospheric moments through its music. New movement options, helpful or problematic. One of the more unusual changes is the new jumping mechanic. Character movement while jumping feels noticeably slower and heavier than expected. The main purpose of this seems to be allowing players to quickly cross certain broken sections of the maps and reach areas that would otherwise be inaccessible. The increased use of gaps and sliding sections across the maps is another interesting addition. While these mechanics might make more sense during the campaign, they currently feel less useful in multiplayer. Sliding itself can look very impressive during combat. The animations are smooth and the movement can create some spectacular moments. However, on the multiplayer maps, sliding through these gaps often feels more like a disadvantage than an advantage. During the animation, players are completely exposed and can easily become a target for opponents waiting on the other side. Instead of creating new tactical opportunities, these areas currently feel more like dangerous transitions where experienced players can punish anyone attempting to use them. The same applies to the new jumping animation. At the moment, it feels like skilled players could potentially exploit these movement options rather than them adding meaningful depth to multiplayer combat. Technical issues and crossplay testing. The biggest technical difficulties we experienced were mainly related to testing crossplay properly. Linking a Steam account with Xbox was not always intuitive. The process is still a little complicated during the beta, although this will most likely be improved for launch. Ideally, players should be able to complete the connection process directly through the in-game menu or through Steam itself without much effort. Apart from that, the beta was surprisingly stable. Across more than 8 hours of playtime, we only encountered a few minor technical issues. These included some unusual starting sequences where players appeared below the map, enemies whose character models remained standing after they had already been eliminated, incorrect animations appearing in the menu before matches started. Besides these smaller issues, the overall experience was technically solid for a beta build. Graphics modes and visual presentation. The beta already allowed players to switch between quality mode and performance mode in both Horde and Versus. On Xbox Series X, the quality mode naturally comes with a lower frame rate compared to performance mode. However, visually, there is very little to criticize. Even in this purely multiplayer beta version, the game already looks impressive. The maps, especially in Horde mode, are massive. Players can explore almost every subway entrance and many additional areas across the city. While these locations often only contain a few posters or small decorative details, the environment still feels large and atmospheric. The locations themselves look fantastic and already provide several hints toward the campaign. Monuments, buildings, and environmental details suggest a much larger world and give players a small glimpse of what the story might offer.
Use that. Target neutralized with Predator. Well done, Bishop.
Taking to useful. Heading out. Out of ammo! I'm dry. Ready to go.
Smoke out!
Grubs have rigged the area with explosives. I need you to do a sweep and defuse any bombs you find.
We're done.
Affirmative.
Scratch one drone. Yeah! Watch it!
Good kill, Rookie. Just take your day out, boys.
Cover me! I'm disarming the bomb! Go, Leon! Running to the net!
Dispensing stem. Nice.
Right between the eyes.
Let's do this!
Cover me!
Now this. Gotta let it cool.
Defusing the bomb!
All bombs defused.
Scavenge anything useful. We're moving out.
Ready to go.
PC version and performance. The PC version initially had some difficulties when starting the game. After several restarts, however, the experience became much smoother. To improve performance, the game loads a large amount of shaders right at the beginning. Once this process was completed, the fast-paced multiplayer battles ran smoothly and looked impressive on screen. However, playing with mouse and keyboard quickly showed one thing. The true home of Gears of War is still the console. The game's movement, aiming, and overall combat feel are clearly designed around a controller. Fortunately, switching to a controller immediately improves the experience and makes the gameplay feel much more natural. Final impressions. At this point, apart from the significantly expanded Horde mode, we have not seen many major gameplay changes. The solid foundation of the previous games is still very much intact. And honestly, that is not necessarily a bad thing. The beta shows that Gears of War, E-Day, understands what makes the series special. The cover-based combat, intense firefights, teamwork, and heavy atmosphere are all still there. The biggest evolution so far is clearly Horde Siege. By expanding the mode into a much larger cooperative experience, the developers are taking one of the franchise's most popular features in an exciting new direction. The impression from the beta definitely makes us curious about what comes next. The biggest question now is what the E-Day campaign will offer, and how much additional content the multiplayer modes will receive at launch and beyond. Because especially with a game like this, long-term support will be an important factor. New maps, new enemies, additional challenges, and further expansions could determine how successful the multiplayer experience becomes after release. Conclusion. For Gears of War fans, there is currently very little reason to be disappointed. The developers appear to have listened carefully to feedback from previous entries and have focused on improving the areas where the community wanted more. Especially with the expanded Horde mode, the game seems to be heading in the right direction. The beta was only a small preview of what the final game could become, but it already delivered a promising experience. There is still plenty we have not seen yet, especially when it comes to the campaign and the full multiplayer package. But based on what we have played so far, Gears of War, E-Day has the potential to become a strong return for the franchise. Gears of War, E-Day releases on October 6, 2026, exclusively for Xbox Series X/S and PC.
Should have read the manual. Cover me.
Let's go! Got it. Back in your hole. Friendly fire.
Down and out.
Just getting started.
Still got it.
Kill confirmed. Tango down.
Oh, I don't think so. Coming.
Tango down.
Scratch one through.
Injectors ready.
Refilled the turret. Barrier plate.
Reloading. Cover me.
Dropping on your nearby. Get it while it's secure. Better find it fast.